Hello everyone, it's me Clayson. I just finished watching She-Hulk episode 3. Now, with Blonsky's whole deal with the Kumite fight over in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, that of course brings Benedict Wong into the proceedings. And thankfully Wong is as entertaining as he was in the Doctor Strange films, and as Sorcerer Supreme, thankfully he's able to get out of a lot of tough situations, including possible police custody. Unfortunately, it feels like some of this episode wasn't exactly well thought out when it comes to some of its jokes. Or at the very least, maybe I just haven't focused that much on pop culture to the point where I don't recognize a certain celebrity that appears that often. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story here has Wong help out Blonsky and Jennifer Walters when it comes to the case to get him out of prison by showing that Blonsky is no threat to anyone. Well, we also see that Jennifer Walters' extremely annoying former co-worker Dennis has his own case to worry about, since an Asgardian light elf named Runa has impersonated Megan the Stallion while dating him. Of course, it was kind of just done out of fun in her case, but I have no idea who Megan the Stallion is, so I have no idea why she's so heavily featured in this episode. Is she like the new hot thing in the pop music scene? I don't know. I really don't know who she is. Either way, it is kind of funny to use one of the Asgardians in this kind of situation because they claim to have diplomatic immunity, even though it's very clear that that won't work in court when it comes to the fact that they're not in New Asgard. Especially considering that she ends up impersonating a judge, so that gets her 60 days in prison, purely based on that. I would have gone for 6 months, but that's just me. Now, as far as Blonsky's part in the episode goes, I really do appreciate that Jennifer Walters got a few other witnesses who has shown that Blonsky has genuinely rehabilitated. You know, he's been taking up yoga and helping out some of the other prisoners with their emotional issues. I would have liked some of that to be shown rather than told to us, but I do buy that Blonsky would be rehabilitated. Though his Abomination form somehow looks less interesting than it did in the 2008 film. I understand the VFX artists are extremely overworked and underpaid, and their conditions are terrible. That's kind of a big problem that Disney has with a lot of its Marvel films at the moment. But it doesn't change the fact that the Abomination form just doesn't look very good. And considering that this is a show like a lot of other Marvel shows that relies a lot on visual effects, this isn't really helping their case at all. Also, I just found Dennis extremely annoying, and this episode is no different. It's almost like the show deliberately designed him to be the most irritating co-worker possible, who's also just extremely delusional and narcissistic. But they did knock him down a few pegs, though I wish there was better writing about him to give him some redeeming qualities as to how he's even working in that place at all. Also, it seems like the show has kind of been attacking its own haters. Like in one of the news segment sequences, it feels like it's attacking people who hated She-Hulk purely based on their dislike of Marvel's focus on more female heroes. It feels like that's something that the haters could easily just use against them. So if I was writing the show, I would just either ignore them outright or just respond better to their criticisms. But either way, I am somewhat interested to see what will happen next, even if Blonsky's case proved to be pretty open and shut when Wong came in. So, see you next time.